What's going on, Coco? We are back and we are doing another What Sold in this YouTube video. We're going to see how much money we have made or lost in a previous YouTube thrift haul. So I went out thrifting 3 months ago, hit up the lovely old Maryborough and had an absolute ball. Now, I got some unique pieces that day. I got a couple of bread and butter items and I took you along for the ride. Now, if you haven't seen that video yet and you want to watch that first, I'll stick it up here and you can go and have a look and see what we got up to that day, because it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of bits and pieces grabbed, bit of nostalgia and all that sort of stuff, bit of vintage, and it was absolutely great. But now we're going to smack into it and I'm going to show you absolutely every sale we've got so far and everything that hasn't sold and why it hasn't sold and what I'm going to do about it. So stick around, let's get into it. We are lovely old Maryborough. This one here I've been picking up. The first up here I walked into, I didn't get a whole lot, but we did pick up this Dogma DVD. I did mention this is usually a quick seller for me, and it actually took a little bit longer. I'd sold a couple not long before that, and anyway, this one went on to sell for 25 bucks just recently, free post. So I'm going to put all the details here, what the actual profit was and everything, but that one, you know, very happy, got rid of it, but pretty minimal price in the end and didn't go as quick as I was expecting. The 99 Star Wars KFC double. Now, the next piece was actually ended up being the find of the day. That's this Queen Amidala t-shirt. Now, it was a $19.99 KFC promotion, so only staff were issued these shirts and they wore them in store when they were promoting the movie. Now, this one I've picked up for $2 in the Oppie, so an absolute steal there, because that went on to sell for $150. Now, I had a couple of trolls on TikTok telling me I wasn't going to get nothing for it, because some of these similar shirts actually sold for a bit less, but I kind of shot for the stars, and as you can see, there's $10 postage on that. Now, the $10 postage is actually going to America. This got shipped to the States, and it's just a little strategy that I have. I charge a little bit under because at the time I was doing free post on stuff, so I'm not really losing out, and they just sort of see that cheaper postage. I don't know if it actually has an effect, but anyway, someone over there snapped it up. So it did cost me about $15, $18 to actually ship it off, so you got to sort of take that out as well, but we got 150 bucks out of a $2 bloody coin, so that's pretty sweet for a KFC promotional Star Wars t-shirt. Man, some $5 ASICs. Yeah, $4. Now, finger bash through these ones pretty fucking fast because shoes can be a little bit boring at times, but we did pick up a few pairs of shoes that day, and we had these Nikes here, so we picked them up for a few bucks. I can't remember off the top of my head what they were now, but I'm sure it'll tell you up there somewhere. And they went on to sell for $50 free post, so they were a good mover. When it comes to shoes, I only really pick up mostly activewear sort of shoes. It's the only sort of stuff that I actually get into and sell, unless it's like your high-end, you know, your R.M. Williams or your Doc Martens and that, if I see them, but that's very rare for me. So they went on for 50 bucks. Now, the Under Armours, they were the Steph Curry. They were a smaller size. They were about a size 6 or something. I can't remember. But they sold on Facebook, so I got 30 bucks out of them. Now, I didn't think I'd even get that much, but I paid $2 for them and got 30 bucks, no fees included. So flog them off on Facebook. I find a lot of these activewear shoes, footy boots and all that sort of stuff, they go really, really well for me on Facebook. So I've been putting a lot more of that stuff on there, and a lot of it's getting shipped still, and then they pay their own post. So that's been an absolute bonus. We had the Nike Mercurials. These went on for 62 bucks. Very happy with that. I didn't predict to get that much out of them. I thought we were going to look around I said in the video 30 to 50. We've ended up getting 62 free posts. So I suppose once you take your post out of it, there's your 50 bucks. But they went on for the $62 and they were a very good pair. So as I always tell you, look out for those footy boots. Even all year round, put international on them because people are looking for them everywhere. I'm selling a lot international at the minute. And we had the Gel Nimbus. So doing these videos is an absolute beauty for me, and the reason being, these Gel Nimbus I actually sold to someone and they were returned. I got 35 bucks out of them, 34 bucks out of them or something, and he reckoned they didn't really fit his feet that well. He was pretty cool. He just said, do you mind if I return them? Not that interested in them anymore, so he sent them back and I forgot to relist them. So prior to doing this video, I've realised they aren't actually in my store at the minute. They're sitting back out in the shed, and they would have got forgotten about if I didn't do this video. So this has been a little bit of a stock take for me. So I've just relisted those today. Now, a pair of pants, pair of jeans. The pair of pants were the Hugo Boss. Now, I never actually listed these. They sat in the corner for a long time because they were just sort of business pants more than anything. And I actually parted out all my sort of chinos and pants and stuff recently because I was never listing them. They sat in a pile and they just sat there and sat there, even though I kept picking them up. So I put up a quick post on Facebook and said, whoever's interested, the whole box for $20 plus you pay your own post. Absolute steal. So I've actually lost money on these, but it got them out of my hair, got them out of my mind. I no longer pick that stuff up unless it's super unique or it's going to be super top dollar, probably brand new. But that sort of stuff is out of my store now. They are gone. The other one was the RM Williams. They were a little bit damaged, so I had to come down on price. I missed it when I picked them up. There was a little bit of a hole where the cock and balls are supposed to be. So I've listed them a bit lower and they haven't actually been snapped up yet. So that's going to be an end sell similar and drop the price and just try and flog them off. So those two pairs of pants were a bit of a bust. Further on into the video, we actually picked up another couple of pair of Longhorns RM Williams, which actually had a little bit of damage too, which I did note when I was talking about them. One of them was missing a button. So that one still hasn't sold. The damage has been the factor on the sale on that one. The other pair, they did have a little bit of a stain on the leg too. So the eyes weren't working too well that day, but we did go on to sell them. So they have actually sold for the $35 free ship. So not a huge profit. We only paid, what did we pay? 4 bickies on that. So look, there's a profit, but not huge profit. But I think it comes down to me not looking at them properly, or sometimes the op shop lighting, you get in there, it's pretty poor and you don't actually get to inspect them properly. You get them home and then you... So I think that was one of those cases. Cool. Made in Australia, Purple Haze surfwear, but it just looks nice, doesn't it? Look at that logo. These date back to the 80s, 88, 89, into the 90s. There was some... So when we were in Ararat, we picked up a few things and it all came as one big lot for about $25. So I kind of worked out roughly what I think I've paid for each thing. But we paid $25 for the whole lot. Now the things that haven't sold, the Dickies. There's a pair of Dickies shorts. Now I'll still pump Dickies every day of the week because I actually kept these. I've kept them for myself. They were my size, they're comfy. I love Dickies shorts. And for the sake of whatever I paid, $2, I've never even bothered listing them. I've kept them from the start. There's a pair of Wrangler jeans which went on to sell for $38. So that's pretty good out of, well, I've worked that out to be roughly $5. And then we had the Purple Haze jumper, or the pullover, and it was a brand I hadn't really heard of, but it was definitely vintage. It was made in Australia. It had those beautiful colors, those old colors, and that's gone on to sell for $80 plus post. So always keep your eyes peeled for those beautiful vintage colors because they do sell. It was anything made in Australia that kind of looks like that, even if it's a brand you haven't heard of, quite often will go well. So that pullover was absolutely sweet. And then the other thing that we picked up in there was that big box of analog books. They were magazines, sci-fi, and there was a shit ton of them. They were fucking heavy as balls. And someone in the UK actually snapped these up, and the postage cost me $103. $103 to ship the big bastard. And the Rod and Gun sweater. Rod and Gun is a brand that I love getting, those sweaters, the jeans, all that sort of stuff. If I can get it cheap enough, it does go on pretty quick. And this one we got $24 plus post at the expense of $3. So pretty happy with that. That's it's just a quick moving brand for me. And I think it goes really well down here in Australia.
A hard time about not picking up the Buzz in my last video, but got my
Buzz Lightyear. I've picked up the Buzz Lightyear and he has sold twice, and both times hasn't been paid for. So I still have Buzz and no profit on him yet, and that makes me remember that, you know, there hasn't actually been any heat on since. When I first listed him the first couple of times, he sold really quick. There was a lot of love for it, and now it's dropped off in those listings. So what I'm going to do tonight, I'm actually going to end that, sell similar, fix it up a bit if it needs it. I don't think it does, but just get that back up the algorithms and see if we can snap a winner on that. Basically, on my last video when I'd done this, and I'd done a video on what sold on a previous video, said how there was about 6 Michael Jackson vinyl left, and I hadn't done nothing with them for a while. I actually ended them all, sold similar. I didn't even really adjust the price on any of them, I think, and I think I've sold them all now. There might be 1 or 2 left. So it's crazy. It's just proof that by doing that, it refreshes it, it gives you a new listing, and it'll get that sale out the door. Whether you have to adjust anything, it doesn't matter. It's still just boosting you up those algorithms. So Buzz, he's still here, but we're going to make sure he fucks off in the next few weeks. Nerds on VHS clamshell. Now the Nerds VHS. If you've been watching along for a little while, you know I did a 10K run and I did a what's sold, and I actually spoke about that here. So I'm going to just quickly flash back to that. So we love our clamshell, those big, beautiful clamshell. Not always horror, just classic. So this one I just jacked the price. So a couple more to go. We had the fishing reel. I pumped up the fishing reel a bit and I said, look, these things do go all right. I did mention they will sit for a while, and this one has sat for a while. It's been 3 months and I've still got it. I've had a couple of like lowball offers on it, and at the time it was early, so I didn't accept. Now, thinking back, I probably should have. You know, I was getting around the $20 mark, so plus post, and it was realistically, it was profit. It was a decent offer. Should have taken it, so I'm going to end sell similar. Same old trick on that. The next one, the Goosebumps books. Now, Goosebumps is one that a lot of people are familiar with. Vintage Goosebumps goes pretty well. If you can get it for under $1, you bundle it up, you fuck it off, you make some money. Now, this whole lot together cost me $20, so not too bad. There was little lots for $5. So I've grabbed all 4 of them, and they sat for a bit, and I do have a lot of other little bundles of Goosebumps, and I'm going to actually talk about Goosebumps a bit more in some upcoming episodes. I want to touch on a broader variety of Goosebumps, toys and decoratives and all that sort of stuff as well. So stay tuned for a Goosebumps episode. Last one here that I want to talk about is the Esky. So I picked up this little Tui's Esky, and I think it was only $1 or $2 or something, but that actually flipped really quick. So once again, I spoke about this on other What's Sold videos, like beer merch, beer memorabilia, all that sort of stuff, especially vintage. Like, people love that stuff, and it's always worth looking it up. There was no sold comps on this. There was only listed, and I think the listed was around the 40 mark, so I did do the old undercut trick. Now, I don't recommend undercutting everything, especially when it comes to clothing and all that sort of stuff. One-off items, yeah, but you know, if everyone undercuts everyone when it comes to a pair of R.M. Williams jeans, we'll have no room left to move, will we? So you kind of, on things like that, you got to stay around your actual normal selling price. But these kind of one-offs, when there's only 1 or 2 things on there, you know, I don't mind being a bit cheeky and slipping in under and cutting it. So that is all, Coco. That's basically what we picked up that day. That's what we picked up in that video, and that's what we have sold so far and what we haven't sold. So what I'm going to do is fucking wave me magic pen and go... Fucking bang, there we go, you beauty. There's the numbers there now. So basically for the day, we have actually spent $93, so $93 in total. Now, one bonus is, in that video I mentioned this. Going through a town called Amphitheatre.
Fucking amphitheatre.
Come up the hill, there's a speed camera there now. You slow down from... Now, I thought that was going to come out of my final sales price, the speeding fine, but I got lucky. The thrift gods were with me. No, not the thrift gods. Whatever the fucking the gods were, they got me away with that speed and fine. So I wasn't chugging up the hill as quick as I thought. Settle down, Turbo, you're not that fucking fast. So, you beauty, I got out of the speed and fine. So now we can look at the profit. And the actual profit for the day is $620.83. So out of the stuff you've seen me pick up and sell, all the things that have sold, I'm currently sitting $600 in the profit. So... not bad for a day of thrifting, and 3 months later, 3 months down the track, there's $600 out of those items. So, for anyone new to reselling, that just shows one day of thrifting can turn into a couple $100. Whether you're part-time, full-time, old-time, new-time, fucking whatever the fuck time you are, you can make a couple extra bucks as a hobby or as a full-time job, and $600 out of a day of thrifting is not too bad. I mean, it's not exceptional. You know, I've had better, I've had worse. Some days you go out and you don't find shit. But luckily for me, there was 2 or 3 items that ticked over that $100 mark to bring that total value up. So I haven't included tax in this, and I've mentioned it before. I don't include tax when I'm talking about it on YouTube. If you want to do some tax talk, go and talk to your financial advisor. I'm not here for that sort of shit, so I'll do my own thing. I'll take out a percentage of that, and that will go to tax. I pay my taxes, and you should too. So once again, Coco, thank you very much for watching. If you do love this stuff, I really appreciate the subs. We got, look, there's 1,600 of you now, so I love every single one of you. Getting a lot of support, lots of great people around the community, so I appreciate it every single time. I know I keep going on about it, but I really do. And if you are new to here, make sure you hit that sub. And if you do enjoy it, only if you enjoy it, hit that thumb. I'd really appreciate it. It helps trigger this channel and gets it out to other people. So I'm here for fun. I'm looking to put out a lot more content. As I always say, we're going to do a lot more nostalgia-based stuff. We're going to talk some more toys, and that'll be coming up sort of in the next few weeks. Showing my journey, showing the things I find, and it's good fun. I'm loving doing it. So I appreciate all of yous, and we made $600 in that day. So you fucking beauty. See you in the next one, champion.